There was a girl that was going before me. Hey, do you want me to count down 1, 2, 3 or 3, 2, 1? He goes 3, just drops her. Rattling scream of just all the way down. You were in the canyon, just dangling, and you continue to get higher and higher and higher. When I think about the biggest risk in my life, I don't necessarily think it was deep, but it was more of a challenge to myself.
I like it.
I had an opportunity to travel abroad to the South Island of New Zealand, which is where the A.J. Hackett bungee jump is located. It's the original bungee jump.
I'm terrified already.
Look, I am not the person to bungee jump.
Do you avoid the rubber band aisle at a supply store?
On purpose. When I was a kid and everybody else was building rubber band balls, I refused to participate. Mainly because it snapped and I would always hurt myself. I had always been afraid of doing big things, adventurous things. And there was this canyon river swing that pretty much was a bungee jump, but it was a swing, and instead of hanging upside down, you would just sit in a swing, and they would just drop you hundreds and hundreds of feet down towards a hurtling earth. No parachute or anything none. You don't need any of that. It was just, you just go, right? So I took the risk on myself to prove to myself that I could actually do something that was hard and scary, but at the same time fun. And so when I was down there, I got it. I signed up. I got in this swing, and I'll tell the story, but the funniest part about it was there was a girl that was going before me.
It's always a girl.
Always a girl in my stories. But when she was there, the guy asked her, hey, do you want me to count down 1, 2, 3 or 3, 2, 1 and let you go? And she was like, 3, 2, 1. And because her thought process was, okay, I'm ready. I'm building it up. 3, 2, 1, drop. It's there, right? So he's like, all right, no problem. She's ready. He goes 3, just drops her. And I just hear even today the rattling scream of just all the way down. I was like, yeah, I'm up next.
And you're probably like, okay, I have to scream just slightly less intense than that, and I've won this interaction.
Yeah, it was like this. Long story short, it was probably funnest is not the right word. It's not a real word.
I don't think it is a word.
It's not a word, yeah. But it was one of the more fun times in my life that I feel like I accomplished something and risked something super dangerous, but at the same time, the reward was just super rewarding in terms of I can do hard things. The worst part about it, honestly, afterwards was you were in the canyon just swinging. So you just were stuck there, and they have to manually, well, not manually, I guess electronically with a pull, also manual combination, lift you back up from the valley back up to the top of where they dropped you off. And so you spent a good probably maybe 5 minutes just dangling, and you continue to get higher and higher and higher.
Describe to me what was going through your mind the moment it was over. When you had made it, you've survived, all you have to do is be unbuckled, you're standing on firm earth. What was going through your mind?
Can I do it again?
Wow.
Yeah, 100%.
What's so cool about that story to me is I think it defines everything this holiday is. This holiday is all about taking some small risk, putting on 2 different colored shoes and walking out the door.
National 2 Different Colored Shoes Day.
It's got a really cool mission behind it.
This holiday was actually not started by a shoe company looking to sell more sneakers, but by Dr. Arlene Kaiser, a motivational speaker and educator. In the 1980s, as a junior high school teacher, she began the practice of wearing 2 different colored shoes at least twice a week. That was the result of a challenge from her students to walk or talk, because she expected them to take risks in their learning, but they wanted to see her take a risk in her living. Well, she created a visual reminder that you don't have to fit the mold or be perfectly symmetrical to be effective and awesome. So there's only really one rule to do it. You just wear 2 different shoes. There could be 2 different colors of the same style, or if you're feeling brave, a stiletto and a flip-flop, though we don't recommend that while you're hiking.
But it's not so much about that risk. It's about the next risk. It's about the expansion of your world. And you just told the story where you're up high. You're like, I can't do this. You see the person in front of you not do it very well. But as soon as you do
It's
it,
not her fault.
you survive it, and all of a sudden you're like, I did that. I can do that again. It opens you up, it expands your world. So now you don't have to take that first risk anymore. You've already done it. Now you can take the next risk, which could be the risk that turns your whole life in a direction you never could have expected.
Many, many years ago, I was in a class and they taught me this formula, right? Intention plus action equals a result. But we as humans, typically, we want to say that we have really good intentions, but it's very hard sometimes to take that action. And so because we don't take that action, we don't ever get to the result. So whether the result is good, bad, positive, negative, we spend a lot of time in our heads. And I'm definitely the person that does that all the time. But to find myself in those moments, and actually remind myself that, hey, I need to at least take the action. Otherwise, I'm going to be always wondering what if.
I don't think you need to do something massive, right? You don't need to get in an airplane and say, I'm going to jump out without a parachute and learn to fly.
Do not do that. Do not. Mm-mm.
You're right. Take the parachute. But you could do something big, right? You could take a risk where you go somewhere and you bungee jump, a big risk. But you could also take just a small risk. Something small you've been scared to do. Try a new food, or take a different route to work that you've never tried before, or talk to that person you've seen before but never had the courage to speak to. Try the different flavor of ketchup. Maybe less sugar ketchup is great for you. It's a risk, but it could be great for your health, your complexion, and your future food options.
Especially if you love ketchup.
You know, I love to read and I love to write. And there's this concept of the hero's journey, where you have a hero at the beginning, and then they get this big call to action. They have to go and be the hero. And we're reading the book, and we know they're going to accept the call to action. They're going to go and be the hero. But what we don't often think about is all the little moments in that hero's life before their big call to action, before their moment to become the hero, where they're taking little risks in their day-to-day life that are helping prepare them for that bigger adventure. They're wearing 2 shoes out the door because that just prepares them to be ready for when that big risk comes. And they know, this is a risk I can handle. I can do it. I can take this on. And who knows? Maybe save the world.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So if we're not talking about shoes for a second, in life in general, what's the biggest risk you've ever taken?
Probably a lot of risks I've taken. I've come to a crossroad and I've had a choice. And I think anytime you make any sort of choice, there is a risk involved with that. You're closing one door, you're closing one road, you're going a different way. If I had to choose right now the biggest risk I ever took, it would be after I graduated college, I got a job in DC. That's where we met. I said, well, I was an English major and someone wants to hire me. I need to go wherever that magical place is. And I packed up my Dodge Intrepid with all of my belongings in the world. And I left the Midwest without seeing a Bears Super Bowl. And I drove halfway across the country. And I spent a night at a Red Roof Inn with one eye open, watching all my belongings out the window and the other eye sleeping on top of the covers. I got here to DC and I didn't know anybody, really. I just had to make it work. And my dad will tell you, my whole family really will tell you, out of all of us, the person that they thought would most likely be living in their basement at the age of 40 was me. So the fact that I immediately as college ended, got in a car and drove halfway across the country to take a risk on a job, a place I'd never been for more than a few hours. I barely tried the shoes on and walked around the store and said, let me commit to this. And that ended up being the next decade of my life, for all the good and the bad. It was a huge risk. And it's easy now even to look back and to say, was it the right risk? Was it the right choice? But there's also so many other things that happened to me that would have never happened if I hadn't taken that risk. I think that's one of the cool things about risks, is you don't know ever really if it was the right choice. You take the risk, you use what information you have, and then you work as hard as you can to make everything about that risk work out in your favor. And if it's not in your favor yet, you're not done working it out and you're not done taking the risk. So yeah, I think for me, that was the biggest risk. Picking up everything, putting it in a car, driving cross country, and just starting over.
Story is it's super connected or like connective in an emotional way.
I like this holiday a lot. When we saw this coming up on the calendar, I had a bunch I wanted to talk about. Very serious topics that I am sure people have come to know and love our podcast to cover.
But before we really dive deep into that, Matt, what's on tap for this week with other holidays?
First up, we've got a slice of a holiday. On April 28th, we've got Blueberry Pie Day. Akshay, I know you are looking forward to Blueberry Pie Day more than any other pie day of the year.
Matt, that is my least favorite pie.
What? There are so many other pies you could just despise. You like mincemeat pie better than blueberry pie?
No, I'm talking to no. What about we're just okay, keep it in the fruit family.
But the pies can come in all shapes and sizes. Fruity, savory, and mathematical.
Math, yeah, same.
Same.
Wow.
Same. We agree on that, but we don't agree on blueberry pies. In fact, if you are near Maine or near a computer and can order some from Maine, Maine blueberry pies, next level and worth enjoying on April 28th.
Also, before we get to the next one, we are not sponsored, but if they do want to sponsor us,
Yes, send me the pie and send Akshay the bill. On April 29th, we have a holiday that hits close to hopefully everyone's heart. We have World Wish Day. In the notes, we wrote awe because this is an awe holiday. It actually commemorates the first ever Make-A-Wish wish from 1980. A little boy wished he could be a police officer. Akshay, if you could wish for any one thing, what would it be?
man, you put me on the spot.
That's what happens. When you rub a lamp, you don't expect the genie to come out, and you must wish when they ask you for your wish.
I don't know, man. I don't know what I would wish for right now.
We're just going to sit here until you figure out your life-changing one wish. I have
Okay, I got
up
it.
to
I got
4
it.
minutes.
I got it. I would wish for me to become a philanthropist because there's nothing
Like Daddy Warbucks from Annie?
Yeah, I mean, maybe I don't know the negative side of Daddy Warbucks,
You're
but
half the way there already.
you're talking about my hair.
I won't tell you what I'm talking about, but you can jump to your own conclusions.
Yeah, I felt that one through the camera. Thanks. My point is, I want to be able to give back. Like, I think there's nothing more rewarding on World Wish Day to be able to give more wishes, right? So if I had the opportunity to give back and be a part of that, that's something that I would always like to do. And I love that feeling of making other people happy. What about you?
I would wish for the Chicago Bears to win a Super Bowl in my lifetime. So
Fair
both of us are giving back to the community, and I think that's really a beautiful thing. And the last holiday we have to let you all know about this week is one that's probably more controversial than anything we've ever talked about in the show. It celebrates the oatmeal cookie. April 30th, Oatmeal Cookie Day. I personally believe it's less cookie and more salad. Where do you fall, Akshay?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely my least favorite cookie, unless it has chocolate chips in it. Then we can talk.
So if you prefer an oatmeal cookie that has chocolate chips and no oatmeal in it, that would be your favorite oatmeal cookie.
Yes, I think specifically the no oatmeal part.
I think that sounds great. But if you do love an oatmeal cookie, April 30th is a day designed specifically for you.
Awesome. Thanks, Matt. I got a question for you, though.
I'm ready.
If you saw someone in the grocery store with one red Converse and one blue one, are you thinking they're a fashion icon, or they're thinking they didn't probably hadn't had their coffee that morning yet?
There's a lot of different ways for me to think about this question. First, I have never really been called a fashionista myself. So my first question would be, are Converses in or out? Is that the trick in this question? Are Converses in?
Always in.
Okay, Converse, congratulations to Converse. You are always in.
Always in.
That is impressive. Beanie Babies wish they had your luck. So if Converses are already in, I guess the question is if wearing a red one and a blue one makes you cool, not cool, or if you missed your morning coffee. And I think I've realized I've reached a point in my life where I am old enough to know I no longer know what is cool or not. So I would just assume it's cool. And I would also start trying to work it casually into my day-to-day routine to make me seem younger and hipper.
Okay. I mean, I think it's cool. I think a red and a blue, all the dude needs or the girl needs is a white shirt. And now we went super patriotic. I'm here. Red, white, blue. Let's make it happen.
But there's a lot of other countries that also have red, white, and blue.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Puerto
Were
Rico.
you going to say the Dominican Republic?
I was, but I pulled it back.
You could say the Dominican Republic. I personally don't have the encyclopedia knowledge of world flags like you do. So I'm going to
No.
assume that the Dominican Republic is red, white, and blue.
And also, I just need to correct myself because Puerto Rico is not a country. It is a territory of the United States. It is a part of the United States.
And that was your geography lesson for the week.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, right? So it takes a lot of guts to put shoes on in the morning and go out into the world.
Yeah.
And it takes even more guts, I would say, to put on two different shoes. Because there's a chance that the soles aren't the same height and you're walking with a little limp all day.
I wear two different shoes every day. And it's not that they're the same or different, like color wise, but the fact is I just have a horrible gait and my shoes do tend to wear down unevenly. So I am that person that kind of probably kind of totters on.
So let's say you find a pair of shoes that you love. Do you buy two pairs of that shoe and then you just kind of rotate them?
You know, the truthful thing is I've never thought about it that way.
That's the tough part about shoes. You're in the store and it's like speed dating. You've got all the shoes lined up and you go down the line and you introduce yourself. You give a couple of small things of small talk, try the shoe on, and you walk up and down the aisle twice and look in a mirror. And then you have to make a decision. Is this the shoe I want to spend the rest of my life with? It's aggressive. And so if that's enough information for you to then buy two pairs of shoes, invest that much money, it's tricky because you're not going to know that's your favorite shoe until weeks later when you can actually jog that marathon you were planning to jog in it.
That's fair. And then also, you know, it's just some people have narrow feet. Some people have wide feet. Some people have big feet, right? Like if we're talking like Shaquille O'Neal size, shoes could be hard to find. So I'm assuming, and if Shaquille O'Neal is listening to our podcast,
we'd love to get you on for a guest spot to talk about your favorite holiday.
Absolutely. Shaq Diesel, DJ Shaq, DJ Diesel. We're here for you. But here's my thing. I think Shazam, great. Loved it. But I do think he would be the person that buys multiple pairs of shoes at once.
Well, rich people do have luxuries that normal podcasters don't get to enjoy until season 2.
That's true. He buys multiple Escalades at once. Hey, be honest with me though, because it is National Two Different Colored Shoes Day, are you wearing two different colored shoes right now?
I'm going to tell you a little secret that's just between you and me.
Oh, okay.
I'm not wearing any shoes right now because I'm indoors and we run the rule of no shoes in the house.
Oh, yeah. As an Asian household, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I tell you what, here's a couple other simple ways that we can celebrate, right? One of the ways that we can celebrate, find a friend who wears the same size shoe and swap one shoe for the day. Like, it's kind of like a friendship bracelet, but for your feet.
Do you clean the shoes first, like at a bowling alley?
I sure hope so. Please. We love shoe and good feet hygiene around here.
We do.
Yeah. All right, what about the shoefy, Matt? You've seen that one before?
I have not.
Yeah.
I should say I am very familiar. But please, for those who may not be as up to date on this, inform them about this idea.
Hey, look, if you're going to wear two different colored shoes today or anytime this week, just send us a shoefy, right? Send us and let us know, tag us in the comments, ensure that we see that you are that bold and willing to go out and wear two different colored shoes. It'd be super awesome. But please remember, we are a family-friendly environment here, so shoes are required. We are not trying to go the other route. All right, the last one for me is the literal walk in someone else's shoes. I talked earlier in the episode about the opportunity to be the philanthropist. Well, even at the smallest ways, you just got to figure out ways to give back. So one way that you can give back is always walk in someone else's shoes. Donate 2 pairs of matching shoes to a local shelter to celebrate 2 different colored shoes day. That would be kind of awesome. So always give back.
Akshay, let me ask you one more question before we wrap. What is a big risk in your future that you're hoping to build up some courage to take?
Oof, that's a good one. What is a big risk in my future that I'm hoping to take? One of the things that I appreciate more than anything is building in life. Like I'm not a person that sits still idly well. If you listen to the world, it'll tell you being Indian American, I was supposed to be a doctor, a lawyer, engineer. So obviously did not go the traditional route, and that's okay because I'm walking that walk, right? I'm choosing to walk because I want to make sure that I'm different and kind of stand out. And so I've been in this position that I'm in at work for just under 2 years, but I've been in the same level of work for 4 to 5 years. I think the opportunity to put myself out there and get that next promotion is something that I'm thinking about. I did just take a course on like video enhancement and audio enhancement. If I wanted to do something like that, I would have to step down in my career. Less money, that comes with less stability. I could move up or move down, but the biggest risk is leaving your comfort zone. And either way, either up or down, would make sure that I leave that comfort zone. So I think that's kind of where I'm at.
And I'm rooting for you. And if your video enhancement can do anything about this, for those who listen to us audio only, I am motioning in front of my face. Let me know.
It didn't do anything for mine, so I'm not great.
Well, there's always a second course you can take.
That's fair. What about you, man?
I think I'm doing it. I think I'm doing it right now here with you. And it's not just about launching a podcast, but you've known me for a long time, and I very much prefer being a behind the camera kind of person. I'm happy to work as hard as possible to do the creative madness with you. And I'm a willing participant, but getting in front of the camera, going on stage, being the main character is something I've always struggled with. And so doing this podcast, hopefully finishing a couple of the books I'm working on, launching a creative platform and finding a way for me as Matt to connect with people in that realm, that's the risk. Because like you said, I've got a family, I've got responsibilities. So carving out time and hopefully creating some sort of reasonable world where I can do this, maybe do this full time, is the risk. And that risk starts now, right? I'm not quitting my job tomorrow or maybe ever, but this is the first step to making that a potential possibility. And I believe that full-heartedly.
I love it, man. Again, intention plus action equals results. I love the fact that we're in the action phase. It's awesome.
Well, for action, Akshay, send us home. Let's finish this episode up and let people get out there and take their own risks.
Absolutely. Well, the laces are tied, even if they definitely don't match. And the verdict is in on National Two Different Color Shoes Day. And now we want to hear from you, right? Is this a all-timer in your social life, or is this just a little bit too much for you to handle? Seriously, send in those shoe fees. We want to see the boldest, weirdest, most fashion-forward combinations you could dream of. Whether you're rocking a sneaker and a sandal for just 2 different shades of beige, walk proud today. You're not disorganized. You're a holiday trendsetter.
There are 52 weeks in a year.
How are you celebrating this one?
We're not your average holiday, and we'll see you next week. That's beautiful.
Thanks.
You're welcome. That was good, man. We hit all the feels on that one.
Yeah, there's a lot of emotion in that.
I like that you threaded the cord inside of your shirt. It's popping out like you're a Secret Service agent. Ooh, are we adding an ASMR feature? You're going to chew chips into the microphone? What should my thing be? Should I whistle? Does that sound like the wind?
No.
I think to some people it might sound like the wind. So then one way to know, we're both going to start OnlyFans and we're going to see who wins. You with your chips, me with my wind sounds. The first person to 1 million subscribers wins.
I forgot we were recording. That's not going to make it into this podcast because it was a blooper. I regret my decision.
Then, have you ever been on a date to Aldi's?
No, but I'm not opposed to it.
There's nothing more sensual than fruit from Aldi's.
Hey, I tend to agree. A woman that can appreciate saving money but also chocolate-covered strawberries, that's a woman I love.
Valentine's Day is less than a year away.
Isn't it always? Except for that one.
Except for that one day it is Valentine's Day. That is very true.
This is not going to good content.
And that's a wrap on this episode. Thank you all for tuning in. Next week, we promise to actually talk about holidays. Just realized that a shoofy is a play on a selfie.
I thought you said
you.
I thought you said you knew what I was talking about.
Yes, I was role playing as someone in the audience who did not get it.